We have some shocking Dolphins news heading into NFL Week 15, where Miami will travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers on Monday Night Football. We got injury news that need to be talked about on both fronts, so we'll start with Miami and the most important player on this Dolphins team right now, and that is Achane. He is the MVP of the Dolphins 2025 season. There is no doubt about that. He suffered a rib injury in the game last Sunday against the Jets, and the status for him is up in the air. Now, he is trending in a very positive direction, and both Achane and McDaniel expect him to be able to play on Monday, but he was a limited in the Thursday practice. He wore a non-contact red jersey, and boy, oh boy, is it a good thing Miami is playing on Monday night this week, because if this was on Sunday, I think the chances of Achane playing would go down just a little bit. That extra day of rest and rehab is going to be absolutely crucial. And in Achane's rehab to get back on the field playing, Mike McDaniel said it will be a gradual increase in activity and physicality throughout the week. Now, most players obviously are going to not want to play with a tough rib injury. Think about Achane, who touches the ball at least 20 times a game, and in this cold 17-degree night in Pittsburgh is going to get crushed in a physical game against a physical opponent in Pittsburgh. He's going to gut it out on Monday night, and boy, oh boy, I have to just give him a solid salute. We're gutting it out in our Week 15 sub-battle against the Steelers channel here at Chat Sports. They're dominating us by 90 subscribers. If you want daily Dolphins content, this is the channel for you. But if you also want to come back in our sub-battle, join the channel. I will say, in a positive light, it is very nice to know that Miami has 3 capable backs. So, yeah, I do expect Achane to be going this upcoming Monday night against Pittsburgh, but it's also solid to know, hey, maybe you don't have to give him 20-25 carries, and you could sprinkle Jaylen Wright. You can sprinkle Ollie Gordon. I mean, Jaylen Wright filling in Achane's absence during the second half of Dolphins-Jets, he ended up finaling 107 rushing yards on 24 carries in that game and even reached the end zone. We've seen Ollie Gordon show how capable he is of being a lead back at times throughout a game, especially in short yardage situations and in the red zone, specifically inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line. But Jaylen Wright got a little bit more action this past Sunday, and Mike McDaniel was asked about why we saw more of Wright than Ollie Gordon, and he said that Jaylen has been on a heater in practice for the last couple of weeks. They've had in-game moments where some of my most trusted players have been motivated enough to tell me, hey, maybe we can get Jaylen Wright the ball based on where he's been and how he's prepared. And I think this is an absolute terrific problem to have. How are you going to be able to have a longer shelf life on a smaller statured running back in Achane? Oh, it's by dishing out some carries and some touches to other backs like Jaylen Wright and Ollie Gordon. Oh, it's 3rd and inches, it's 4th and inches. Oh, it's 2nd and goal, 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line. Well, we don't have to put Achane in at running back and have him suffer those big hits against big physical defensive linemen and linebackers. We can have Jaylen Wright. We can have Ollie Gordon do it because they are capable of toting the rock and making productive plays. Having a 3-headed backfield like Miami has right now is extremely important. And I'll say this, I thought Jaylen Wright was a trade candidate earlier this year. I'm glad the Dolphins didn't trade him. He's been crucial down the stretch here of this year as that 3rd running back and change of pace guy this past week against the Jets. And I imagine Miami will keep all 3 running backs going into the 2026 season as well. We talked about Achane playing on Monday night. It sounds like he will have to wear a flak jacket to protect his ribs. Now, McDaniels did say it was up to him, but if you're Achane, if it's a little uncomfortable, get over it. Would you rather get smoked in the ribs and have a re-injury, or would you rather have that little bit of uncomfortable feeling, but be more likely to sustain a big hit to the midsection and not have to leave the game with injury? So if you're asking me, Achane, you better wear a freaking flak jacket, because if you play in this game and then leave in the first half again because you got hit in the ribs and you weren't in a flak jacket, I'm going to be a little bit peeved off. Couple other injury notes for Miami, and then we'll transition over to Pittsburgh. 2 players were a DNP in Thursday's practice. Elijah Campbell, the safety, and Caleb Johnson, the linebacker, they both left the game against New York last Sunday and did not return. These two players have their primary role on special teams, so it's not like it's going to impact the defense of Miami in any way. Campbell's the fifth safety on this roster. Johnson's the fifth linebacker, but they both are heavily involved in kick return coverage, punt return coverage. So hopefully Miami is going to be able to circumvent losing those two players, specifically Elijah Campbell, who's known as one of the top aces on the special teams unit that Miami has. Today's show is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the holiday season. We got basketball matchups, playoff pushes, bowl games, and while we're out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, what game to watch, there is one place where it feels good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. Is your fantasy football season already over? If you don't want to wait till next year's draft, Prize Picks lets you play fantasy football every week. Pick your favorite players and win when they hit their projections every week. No draft required. Just pick more or less than at least 2 players' stats. And if you get your picks right, you could cash in. Achane should be on the field, and he is in my lineup. More than rushing yards for Devon Achane. I'm pairing that up with Jaylen Warren, less on rushing yards, and Malik Washington, less on receiving yards. That is my 3-player entry for Dolphins Steelers on Monday night. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. We're going to talk about the Steelers now because a very massive injury note was released today on arguably the best defensive player on the Steelers roster, that being TJ Watt. He might miss Monday Night Football against the Dolphins. In a shocking fashion, the Pittsburgh Steelers released a statement on Thursday afternoon that TJ Watt is currently in a local hospital for further medical evaluation of his lung after experiencing discomfort at the practice facility on Wednesday. He will not be at practice on Thursday, and his status for Monday night's game versus Miami is in question. Coach Tomlin will provide more updates at the appropriate time. We'll see how this week progresses, but if Watt misses this game, that is a massive loss for Pittsburgh. He's not having the elite type of season that he normally has, to where he's already at 13, 14 sacks entering the final month of the year. But Watt has still been extremely productive for Pittsburgh. This has obviously been one of the best edge rushers in the NFL over the last 5 to 7 years. A DPOY winner in the past. He's their leader. He knows how to take the ball away. I just want to say quickly, prayers up to TJ Watt, because a lung injury is absolutely nothing to play with. And I hope that everything is all right and he is going to end up being healthy. But if he is not on the field Monday night against Miami, that is a massive break. Yes, the Steelers' defense does have a lot of solid edge rushers, and we'll showcase some of them here in a second, but they are not the same defense without TJ Watt on the field. And how about our own Steelers Talk host, Jack Sperry, providing this nugget on Thursday afternoon, that Pittsburgh are 1-11 since 2022 in games that TJ Watt misses or is playing through an injury. So clearly, I know it could be a coincidence, but I don't really believe in coincidences when the sample size is this large. TJ Watt doesn't play throughout the game or doesn't play at all. The Steelers struggle. And this is the defense that already struggles defending the run. Yes, they can get after the quarterback a little bit, but that run defense is Charmin ultra soft, man. And if TJ Watt, if he's not on the field, that's a massive advantage for Miami, and you hope that the Dolphins can take advantage of a little bit of a break here, assuming TJ Watt misses the game. But I do want to show some respect to one of the best defensive players in the NFL over the last 8 years, wishing him a speedy recovery. Send love to the Steelers edge rusher. Spam his initials, TJ, down in the comment section. If he does end up missing this game, the next men up for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense will be Jack Sawyer, the rookie out of Ohio State, or Nick Herbig. And now Nick Herbig is a very good ball player, and I don't want to get it twisted. Yes, it's a massive drop-off from TJ Watt to Herbig, but Herbig is still a really productive pass rusher for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He almost has the same amount of sacks this season for TJ Watt straight up. Playing in 12 games, he's got 3 forced fumbles, 6.5 sacks, 12 TFLs, Herbig's been a real productive player for that Pittsburgh Steelers defense this season. Now, Jack Sawyer would have to take a step up as well. He has played in all 13 games for Pittsburgh, obviously as a rookie midday 2-3 pick. I forget if he was in the third round or the fifth round. Fourth round, says producer Coop. So if he's right, give him credit. If he's wrong, flame him in the comment section. But Sawyer is going to have a larger role. Obviously, no TJ Watt. Here is a potential big return for the Pittsburgh Steelers, though. Mike Tomlin said Derek Harmon, the rookie defensive tackle from Oregon, was limited this week, and there is a lot of optimism in Pittsburgh that the rookie D lineman is going to return for the Steelers this week. He has been out for the last couple of weeks with a lower body injury. Harmon missed the start of the season, and then once he came back, that Steelers defense took a little bit of a step up. Now, I talk about coincidences earlier in the video. I don't believe in coincidences. And I don't believe it's a coincidence that the Steelers defense with Derek Harmon out of the lineup the last 2 weeks have been absolutely torched on the ground. They gave up 217 rushing yards against the Ravens this past Sunday, and the Sunday prior against the Buffalo Bills, they gave up 249 rushing yards. Sperry, we were talking this week. He said if Harmon plays in this game, he thinks the Steelers get a massive boost and a potential victory. Now, that was before this TJ Watt news. He said if Harmon misses this game, he thinks it's incredibly more likely that Miami's rushing attack will be as effective as it has been over the last month, potentially rushing for 200 yards and making it 3 straight weeks where the Steelers have allowed that many rushing yards to their opponent. So Harmon is going to be a key inflection point in this game. If the Steelers are without Harmon and TJ Watt, I think Miami wins this game pretty easily. How about that? That's going to do it for today's show. We cover all Dolphins news and rumors every single day, so join the channel if you want daily Dolphins coverage, and let's catch up to the Steelers Talk channel in our sub battle this week.